the world of Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby's silence speaks louder than words. His power comes not just from what he says, but more importantly, from what he chooses not to say. In this video, we'll explore how Tommy applies Law 4 of the 48 Laws of Power. Always say less than necessary. By withholding information and carefully choosing his words, Tommy maintains control over every situation he enters. One of the earliest examples of Thomas Shelby using Law 4 is in his initial confrontation with Inspector Campbell. Campbell, the police officer sent by Winston Churchill to clean up Birmingham, is a man who likes to talk, to threaten, and to show off his authority. But Tommy simply listens. He knows that the more Campbell talks, the more power Tommy gains over him. Tommy's silence in this scene allows Campbell to reveal his intentions, giving Tommy the upper hand. By saying less, Tommy conveys confidence and control. In the world of Law 4, speaking too much can reveal your weaknesses or give others information they can use against you. But by saying very little, Tommy forces Campbell to make assumptions, and assumptions lead to mistakes. Another prime example of Tommy mastering Law 4 is during his dealings with Sabini. Sabini is a brash, loud gangster, always eager to assert his dominance with words. But Tommy, as always, remains reserved, speaking in short, calculated phrases. Sabini interprets Tommy's quiet demeanor as weakness, but in reality, it's all part of Tommy's plan. Tommy knows that when Sabini talks, he's revealing his insecurities and overestimating his power. The more Sabini speaks, the more Tommy understands about how to defeat him. By saying less than necessary, Tommy keeps his own intentions hidden while gaining insight into Sabini's mind. This is the essence of Law 4. By saying little, you make others speak, and their words often give away more than they realize. Alfie Solomons is one of the few people who understands Tommy's strategy. Both men are careful with their words when they meet, understanding the power of silence. In their first negotiations, Tommy and Alfie engage in a subtle dance, where each man says just enough to push the conversation forward, but never too much to reveal their full hand. Alfie, like Tommy, is a man who understands that words are weapons. Both men know that by keeping their language vague and cryptic, they can manipulate the other. The negotiations are tense, not because of what's being said, but because of what isn't being said. This is the mastery of Law 4. Saying less makes every word more significant, more dangerous. Tommy uses this to his advantage by keeping Alfie guessing, never fully revealing his true intentions. As Tommy rises to power, becoming a member of Parliament, his use of Law 4 becomes even more apparent. In one scene, we see Tommy deliver a speech in Parliament. Short, to the point, and powerful. In a room filled with politicians who love to hear themselves talk, Tommy's brevity stands out. He says just enough to make his point, but never too much. Tommy's concise words make him appear strong, authoritative, and in control, while others drone on with empty promises. Tommy's ability to say less gives his words weight. In this way, Tommy doesn't just command the room, he commands respect. His mastery of Law 4 makes it clear that when you say less, your words become more valuable. One of the most intense confrontations in Peaky Blinders comes when Tommy faces off against Luca Changretta and the Italian Mafia. Luca is loud, aggressive, and always quick to show his strength through words. But Tommy remains calm and collected, speaking only when absolutely necessary. Tommy's silence unnerves Luca. The more Luca speaks, the more Tommy gains control over the situation. By saying less, Tommy forces Luca to reveal more about his plans, his insecurities, and his emotional state. Tommy's quiet confidence in these moments shows how power is not just in what you say, but in how much you choose not to say. Luca, full of bravado, underestimates Tommy, and it's that underestimation that leads to his downfall. Tommy doesn't just use Law 4 in business or political settings, he applies it in his personal life as well. When dealing with his family, especially Ada and Polly, Tommy often chooses to remain silent about his own emotions. While others in the Shelby family wear their hearts on their sleeves, Tommy uses silence as a shield. By saying little about his personal struggles or his emotional pain, Tommy maintains a sense of control and distance from those around him. He knows that revealing too much would make him vulnerable. This is the darker side of Law 4. Saying less not only protects your power, but also protects you from emotional manipulation. Tommy's silence keeps him isolated, but it also keeps him safe from the chaos of his family's emotional turmoil. In Peaky Blinders, Thomas Shelby's greatest strength is not just his intellect or his ruthlessness, but his ability to control what he says. Law 4 teaches us that sometimes the most powerful words are the ones left unsaid. Tommy uses silence as a weapon, forcing others to fill the void with their own insecurities and assumptions. Whether he's dealing with enemies like Luca Changretta or allies like Alfie Solomons, Tommy knows that the less you say, the more power you hold. In a world where everyone is eager to speak, those who remain silent hold the real power. And Thomas Shelby, as always, remains a master of saying just enough to get what he wants.